Hello everyone. I am back. I'm deciding to make my own video on my own channel about uh, demonic manifestation and not just demonic manifestation, generational curses. So I just want to start this video by giving a little introduction on the type of levels of demonic possession, mild, medium, severe. I just want to start by saying demonic possession is a complex issue. Um, and the symptoms impact every individual who's possessed differently. People who psychic mediums, witches, whatever. I mean, people who can tell that can sense, I would call this some subtle invitation. No, I'm just kidding. Subtle vision, though. Seriously. And some members can actually see the spirit possessing the person, which is something that is, not everyone can do this, but I can, and I know there's other people who can too. Some people who can access the universal mind and intellect are able to understand the deeper reason behind possession. It's not just like what we see on movies and um, things like that. It's much more complex, and if you are a psychic or a medium, you can understand this. Mild possession can start and would be a manifestation where the behavior uh, is either docile or more aggressive. Also, talking gibberish, hysterical laughter, aggressive behavior. These are all some signs that the spirit is, you know, making its presence known. And then we have, this is another thing, with the medicine world and these parents who have no knowledge of nothing, like, send their kid, like, I haven't had a client yet, but I'm sure there's been some psychics who have, like, uh, this person's bipolar, this person's schizophrenic, this person's that. Like, medicine's important, believe it or not. I actually, and I would if I had health insurance. I'm just working on my health insurance, by the way. And since this is my channel, I will speak about this. But, you know, it's funny, because also, like, when I'm in doing research and stuff, the medical world has a really good way of misdiagnosing and doing whatever they want. Uh, so someone who is possessed could go to a psychiatrist or be sent to a doctor. Even with diabetes, I honestly believe diabetes can be a demon. I have always uh, just, but a psychiatrist can look into an incident and classify it as a psychosis very easily, okay? But it takes a stronger person to be able to look into the situation, and it would take a different person because it wouldn't be a psychiatrist to look into the situation and know that it's a possession. There is demonic entities that are messing with the person. And so this is when depression, oppression, insomnia, all these things start taking place, and you go to a doctor and you're like, oh, the doctor's gonna fix everything, and then with being on the medication, this, and this, and this, and this, And I have literally lived with a person who suffered from these things, and I was having my own situation. So, but honestly, it takes a trained person, smart person, to honestly see the difference. Be careful when you go to the doctor. I'm just gonna say this because you never know who you're giving your blood to, and if you have a psychic eye and you go to a psychiatrist's office, you can just see what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyways, moving on a little bit. The medium demonic possession would take someone with, extrasensory perception to be able to discern whether the person is truly possessed or what's going on. Whether they're depressed, whatever their symptoms are, and whether they've gone to a doctor and nothing's getting resolved or fixed and nothing's changing within the person's mind. Um, this would be, you know, this would be the second medium demonic possession. The telltale signs would get a lot stronger. Excuse me, I just ate. Um, and then of course, now going on, severe demonic possession would be already at the point where the person has been by a priest or I say priest, but like in Palo and in Santeria and all these things, we have spirits that are coming in and out all the time. And if you weren't raised in it, you don't know it. And and if you are Catholic or you are Christian, I mean, I'm not even sure, but I always say the devil and Lucifer and Satan is very powerful, like within these church and these evangelicals and like yeah, like great that you're an evangelical, but you don't know what the hell you don't even know. But this is why I like African American voodoo a little bit more and stuff because honestly, these churches and these people are so dumb, but. Um, so the severe demonic possession already would be at the point where the person has been determined already possessed and they're being looked into and they are being treated for the possession and having the spirit expelled from them. Um, Also, at this point, the spirit will be telling you who he is. Because at this level where the person has already gone to the doctor, that's level one, and then they wait a little bit to try to figure out what's going on, and then that's level two, and then already at the stage severity, we would be knowing the demon's name, and we would be knowing what entity is working with the person, who's in the person. Um, uh, so, anyways, um, these are some of the levels of Alright, so in mild possession, the average spiritual level can speak to manifest the person. Like it would be very easily to calm down the spirit in the first stage. In the second stage, uh, the medium it would be a lot harder than the first level in calming down the person because you have limited access to the person when the demon is already taking over. Like, once the spirit has already taken over the body and the person is in this stage, it becomes a completely different game and scenario. When the possession is severe, the spiritually average person is unable to calm the manifesting person, manifesting being the demonic spirit. Um, Mild possession would be when a spiritual healer of 15% or less can cure the person. Medium possession would be when the possession has reached already a level of 70% and requires deeper. And at this point, if you already don't have someone working with you and they don't know it and they haven't figured it out, at this point, the person would it would be a lot harder to control. Once the person possessed by the demon reaches severity, it's this is when the whole healing process has to happen, and you know in mild possession also we know that there are ghosts. Okay, this is the thing. In mild possession also, and these are just the different level branchings. Uh, in mild possession can be a ghost that just happened to enter the body, and I do believe that spirits enter the. I have seen it. I see it. Like uh, I know growing up personally, my family was Catholic, and they weren't very into spirits and ghosts, but I always was. My parents kind of always thought I was crazy myself, but I do see these things very easily, and so if un muerto, enters your body, being a ghost or family or whatever it is, this is something that can happen momentarily or whatever, but this would be a mild possession, just so that people understand too. A mild possession can be something that you induce, and I allow myself to personally speak to the realm of the dead and spirits. I do speak to spirits, and even in uh, performing a tarot session, I am working with your spirits, and my own personal spirits are telling me, and I am able to look into the person and see what's going on, kind of. But this is a mild type possession, just so that you get a little bit of an understanding. Already, when I'm saying uh, moderate would be when the is definitely not mild. Moderate would be already when the spirit is controlling the person. And excuse me, when I say controlling the person, I mean at this point the person becomes induced by the spirit all the time, and they can't control it, and when we're at level severe, it would be already when the person is being completely controlled. So levels of demonic possession based on spiritual strength. All right, so already though, but this is the thing. In mild possession, you already are limiting yourself to harm. Okay, because if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know if the spirit can jump into high gear and then the possession from mild jumps into moderate. Um, in moderate, the individual and the intent is completely controlled by the spirit, and then of course in severe possession, you know, the sorcerer or the balero or the mambo or the hugan or the voodooist or the hoodooist or the witch or this or that is already taking full control of the person, and it's making a de- detrimental effect on the person, and they're completely being controlled. And this is very possible. This can happen, and so I just wanted to speak about uh, demonic influence and not just demonic, spiritual influence, ghost jabs, even the Loa, the Orishas. Be careful, even if you're just getting newly into Santeria or voodoo or hoodoo, because these spirits do take on your body. Like, you have to know this, and if you don't, and you're messing with a spirit that's a hot spirit, you must be careful. And please call me if you feel that you have a demonic uh, if you feel a demonic presence, because this is something that I wanna deal with hands on. In the psychic shop that I was working in, they were gonna deal with their first case of going to a home and dealing with a demonic possession that was going on within a house. But honestly, I stopped working there, and when I just tried to get involved in the conversation, I was told that I didn't have enough knowledge to even get involved in the conversation, and it was very rude, and I thought it was so disrespectful, so fuck that. And but that did fucking happen, and I'm just gonna say that right fucking now. Man, Bridget, I didn't like that, but that's why I don't work there no more. And 'cause it's like, so I haven't personally had a client call me or dealt with a client myself, like, and the time that I was finally gonna be able to maybe learn about it or hear something, know about it, I was told that I wasn't experienced enough by another witch who apparently was experienced enough to handle a house possession. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now, I'm gonna also start speaking about generational curses, and how they affect, your children, or they can affect your children, and they can affect you and your family. Uh, Generational curses can be looked at all the way, even in the Bible, in Exodus, and in all parts of the Bible. God speaks about generational curses. God is not, and Jesus, these are not the only people that can uh, bring upon generational curses. You need to be careful. Who You never know where you're sending your kid to school at. Like, I'm just gonna start by saying that these public school systems and these parents who send their children to public schools, they don't know what they're doing and what they're dealing with. I would not be sending my kid to a public school. uh, Firsthand, I went to public school, and I had to be taken out of normal classes right away because I had a problem with everything, and then my parents started thinking was the problem. But now, looking back and looking at my situation, I realized, and if I was a parent, like my mother did, she was raised, she is who she is, but I am who I am. And that's why I'm not sending my fucking kids to no public school, some nasty ass school that's fucking dirty, and there's public, and I don't like no public schools, but that's just me. But this shit starts up in your schools, like people be sending their children to these schools, and school starts at a young age, and if you don't know nothing about the educational system and you don't know nothing about nothing, you should may have no children in the first place. But so it starts at a young age. Know what you know, and if you generational curses, I am just gonna start speaking about this. Uh all right. Jesus. All right. So, all right. Uh Basically, a generational curse is defilement that is passed down from one generation to another. For example, if your mother has been heavily involved in the occult, then then and she did something screwed up that she didn't know what she was doing, or your father did something screwed up that he didn't know what he was doing, it can affect your children, and then your children will be cursed. And so the generational curse goes on and on and on. And does anything ever get fixed? Maybe not. Not if you don't realize it fast enough. And then your next thing you know, your son's dead. Next thing you know, these generational curses are a big deal. And why messing with spirits isn't a fucking joke. Like they say in Spanish, con lo santo no se juega. And I believe this, and I always say this, and I haven't been working with no madrina or madrino, because my background was more Catholic, and I'll give some information on myself because I know everyone does it on their channel, and this is my channel, and so uh, my upbringing, I had almost 9 years of Catholic school. I was baptized, communionized, and confirmed. However, this is something that was thrown upon me because at a young age I always told my mother if I could practice Santeria, but my father, apparently his father was a Santero and it led a lot of issues in the house. But I think the issues were more particularly between the two adults that were managing the house. Uh, Manipulating their children to think that the religion was the cause root of why they had problems. But it wasn't. It was more because, honestly, in my eyes, it was a big manipulation. And so I was manipulated into doing these Catholic Church, things that I didn't really give a fuck about. I really didn't, but I did. And I mean, no one's called me up to ask me to be a padrino, and I can be one. So, and that's in my own family, because they always say, oh, James is a witch, and I always got bashed down from everyone in my family about Santeria and voodoo. It was a big issue, and so that's me. But I did have a godmother, which is my mom's sister, Joanne Barrios. Now, excuse me, she got divorced. But so, uh, so that is why I actually have that background. But now that I'm an adult, like, and uh, I'm not under the roof of someone that can just constantly judge me, I have felt free to uh, realize that I can start my own shop online. I can do my own psychic readings and I can do my own practice. I am solitary, but I would definitely work with other individuals. Matter of fact, I even want to start recording videos with some other psychics that I'm really big on watching and speaking to. There would be a few that I would like to like just communicate with and do a video, and but that will be later on. I just started this channel and I'm just starting to do these videos on my knowledge to give you guys some knowledge of what I know. But so generational spirits, they are something that can be broken broken up broken down. They can be removed. It takes a bit of power to break these generational curses, but they definitely can be. But how many times do people not take care of these things? And How many of you even know what generational curses are? Um, alright, so, I'm just like ranting now because I already explained what generational curses were, and I kind of got on the subject of demonic spirits and demonic possessions and how they can start and levels of, um, you know, every religion has a way of breaking the generational curses and demonic influences in their own way. You know, um, and uh, the bondage, the generational curse, when it's handed down, these would be some of the symptoms, though. You will struggle and have the same bondages as your parents. You will see your siblings with the same problems. Then it's quite possible that the suffering affects down into the generation. A generation of suffering from depression, a generation of suffering from diabetes. My grandfather died from Alzheimer's 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Uh, I think that that was a demonic possession, and I had this issue with my family because growing up, they were so Catholic. Next thing you know, my grandfather loses his mind and has dementia. This is not normal. Like, uh, I always was really, ugh, even the day of his death when I was there at the room where he died in my grandma's house, I said, there is a nasty demon here and I don't want to fucking be here. I said that to everyone in the room, and everyone just looked at me like I was fucking crazy, but fuck that. If you have Alzheimer's, you're being affected by a demonic spirit. In my eyes, you're being affected by a demonic spirit. You know, all levels of health can be affected by a spirit. Matter of fact, if you are a witch, whether you are working with chakras or you are West African Voodoo, I don't care. Um, all health related issues are connected to a spirit. In my eyes, uh, I don't care if you're a Reiki healer and you work with chakras, great. But like in the chakras, it there can be imbalances, and witchcraft can cause imbalances in the chakra. So I'm just like saying this, because I'm not one of these psychics that works with Reiki or any of these type of things. I don't work with. I do work with the chakras. I understand what the chakras are, but I like just I know it. It's just I'm somewhere else. I've always been somewhere else, and anyone who has been around me for a while knows this, and now everyone on my channel is getting to know this. I do, anyways, but generational curses, I did this little video, this little rant, and, I just want to say, if you have high blood pressure, take your prescription. And if you have issues with your potassium, eat some bananas. No one wants your feet cranking up. Okay? Eat your potassium, girl. Alright. So, what else can I possibly say in this video, because I don't want it to over exceed past 30 minutes. I just spoke about demonic spirits and all this stuff. These things get so complicated, and this is why psychics like me are out here, and people in the world do this for a living. Contact someone if you are, you know, feeling that you have some demonic spirits in your house. Chances are you probably do. Um, what else can I possibly say? I would want to speak about relationships and partners and people and my experiences and things that I've been through, but I'm not gonna do this on this video. But um, they can be removed, and call your local psychics. I just want to say this: I read really easily people. This has been my problem since I was a little boy. It's why I had a problem in public school. Uh, the moment I don't like something or know something, it's just don't play. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't fucking play. Um, I heard that it's very hot in Las Vegas. Very, very hot. And we haven't had no hurricanes here in Miami yet, but I don't know. Have any psychics made any predictions for hurricanes? I'm not sure. Um, and just by and now that I just said hurricanes, you don't know, but if you guys don't know this, this time of year brings a lot of spirits. When a hurricane comes, you must know where do hurricanes come from? The body of water, it's Africa. Uh, when hurricanes and this time of year is around, uh, besides being prepared, be prepared spiritually when hurricanes hit in Miami or wherever they're hitting, or tornadoes. I know that there's been a lot of tornadoes up in the States because I watch the news every morning, and I'm constantly watching what's going on around the world, with weather especially. I was mentioning in a video earlier about catastrophic events that I feel might happen with volcanic eruption or earthquake. But I also just want to note this: hurricanes do bring spirits. Um, yes, they do. And be prepared, y'all. Um, and this is it for this video, because if anyone has an issue, they would need to contact me personally and speak to me personally, because I would have to look into what the person's going through to be able to know whether or not it's a demonic spirit or just a spirit, or just maybe, there's so much brujeria, like, oh my god. You never know who has tried something, but people do try, and this is this video. I will be making more videos. I want to do videos actually about toxic family, because just lately I've been going through some issues with my toxic family, and I've been going through issues with my toxic family for the last past, you know, my mother and father, they think they're all right, and the problem is when you fake that you're okay, it's just a matter of time before it catches up, and when it bites you in the ass, it's gonna bite you so fucking hard that you're gonna end up with dementia or something. I'm not even gonna get into that, but This is why don't abandon your family. Don't be a bitch and don't take sides. Like, know, and if you know and you want to know, ask everything. Don't just assume, because assuming can lead people into problems. And this has always been my issue with my family. I don't know. But I will probably be making a video about toxic family and loving your toxic family later on. Maybe next week. I'm not sure. Uh, Alrighty, guys.